Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to another MAMG Let's Play of Sweet Fuse. When we left off, they had unleashed some zombies on the island, and now Wakasa was in danger. I have no idea where he's at. We're looking for him, and we're gonna see if we'll be able to find him. But so far, everybody's been disappearing. It's been absolutely crazy. I don't know what to expect. Where's Wakasa? Had something bad happened to him too? I shivered. Huh? Then I noticed something. Look, over there. It's open.
本当だ。関係ない場所なら閉まってるはずなのに。もしかして若狭君は。
As we watched, a figure appeared in the entrance. We dove into the trees. And it was a good thing we had, because the figure turned out to be a zombie.
あのゾンビはアトラクションの中から出てきた。それはつまり。
Yeah, that's not good. Samurai Fantasy VII is the source of the zombies?
そう考えられるね。
Do you think that's what Wakasa was trying to talk about?
きっとそうだ。ゾンビの出所を見つけた。そう言いたかったんだと思う。これでゾンビの謎に一歩近づけた。
But why here? But what about Wakasa? There he is. It was faint, but whoever made that scream was inside Samurai Fantasy VII. That was him!
僕も若狭君の声に聞こえた。行ってみよ
う。You okay, buddy? I doubt it. We headed inside as quickly and carefully as we could, and after running down the hallway, we found ourselves in the room of the Guardian. It almost felt a little nostalgic. This is where we had all solved the first puzzle. We'd had to contend with the threat of poison gas as we struggled to figure it out. It seemed hard to believe that it had only been a few days ago. Back then, all 7 of us were there, but now it was just me and Kota. I need to stop thinking about that. We need to find Wakasa. Fortunately, it looked like the Nue hadn't been moved since the first day, so we would be able to pass through without solving the puzzle again. A zombie!
早くこっちへ。パネルの裏に隠れよう。
I wonder if the evil spirit from that original game is going to be what's causing all the zombies. Doesn't really make sense though, but whatever. We slid behind one of the electronic panels. I curled up into a tight ball, and Kota put his arm over me. After a few moments of silence, a group of zombies began to shuffle past. There were 5 of them in total, and we held our breath as they moved through that room and toward the exit.
やっぱりランド内に現れるゾンビはみんなここを通ってるのか。
The corridor of hate is down those stairs, right? Does it mean it's the zombie lair? Or hive? Or whatever zombies have?
それかその先の覇王の間か。だけど釈然としないな。怨念回路にも覇王の間にも大量のゾンビが隠れられるような場所はなかったはずだ。
He frowned and rubbed at his chin with one hand.
とりあえず少し様子を見てみよう。ゾンビがここから出てくると分かったら。
I agree. We should be safe.
動くのは危険だ。
Because everybody else could be in danger and we could all be eliminated. Agreed. So, we stayed put and watched the zombies. There was a pretty long period of time between groups, but given our situation, it was better to waste a little time than to, well, get wasted.
数は5体。周期も毎回同じみたいだ。
And the interval's always the same, or at least it was for the 3 groups we saw. For mindless undead, they're pretty punctual.
本当にね。まるで機械か人形だ。
Speaking of machines, I had no idea. My phone had the stopwatch. How did you know?
君のにもついてると思うけど、女子高生とは思えない言葉だね。
I just text and stuff. Kota laughed.
さて、これからどうしようか。ゾンビが現れるペースは把握できたし、動くならこの30分間が狙い目だ。
Okay.
いける？
Yeah, let's go. He grinned. We made our way down to the corridor of hate with no zombies in sight. There had been a puzzle there too. The faces on the walls had sharp arrows when you walked past them. It had been Kota who beat them with his amazing reflexes. Yeah, good to have him on our side. Wow. He triggered the sensors to fire the arrows at just the right times to dance on to the next one and fire it.
どうしたの？
I blinked and realized he was looking at me quizzically. Do you remember when you beat this puzzle? I was just thinking about it.
そうだったっけ？
Come on, you're all quick and nimble, like a ninja. It was really cool.
そんなことないよ、全然。
I thought I saw a little bit of blush on his face as he quickly turned away. His voice had changed, and as I watched, he crouched down to look at something on the floor. What's wrong?
見て。
Oh no, that's... blood. Kota touched it with one finger.
完全には固まっていない。
That's not good.
まだ新しいものみたいだ。
Could this be? Was it Wakasa's blood? I didn't want to admit it, but... it felt like saying it out loud would somehow make it more likely.
仕掛けはよかった。作動してない。
Then why is he
解
bleeding?
除
Did he
され
get
たまま
shot?
みたいだ。
Despite his shy appearance, Kota was capable of surprising boldness. I was reminded of that as I watched him calmly wave his hand in front of one of the demon faces to check and see if it still shot arrows.
進もう。これなら向こうへ渡っても大丈夫だ。
Okay, should we follow the trail of blood? True enough, we made it to the other end of the hallway without getting impaled, and found ourselves in front of the same metal door. Unfortunately, it was locked. Huh, I thought it'd still be open since everything else was like we left it.
電気のスイッチもダメだ。反応しない。仕掛けが解除されてたわけじゃなくて、センサー自体が機能していなかったらしい。
Well, that makes sense. It would be kind of stupid if the zombies got full of arrows as they walked down the hall, right?
だけど、扉が開かないのは変だ。ここが閉まってるなら、さっきのゾンビたちはどこか。
That's true. There was only one way to the entrance, and it was through here. They couldn't be coming from anywhere else. Huh? A dull sound rumbled through the room, like a heavy door sliding open.
こっちへ。
Kota pulled me into the shadow behind one of the lanterns. What's making that noise? I looked around for any sort of door and did my best to keep my breaths calm and quiet. How many times had we hidden from the zombies together? I was starting to feel like we were really in sync, by which I meant we were both good at hiding.
ゾンビだ。
He frowned. As we watched, a section of the wall in the middle of the hallway swung up, and a zombie stepped through it. It turned and walked toward the stairs that led to the room of the Guardian.
隠し扉か。
Yeah, okay. He sounded almost excited. But how do you trigger it? Another door opened up, on the opposite wall from the first one, and another zombie appeared. Then another, and another, until in all, 5 doors had been opened. Each door produced a zombie, and each zombie headed up the stairs to the room of the Guardian. Once we were sure all the zombies that were going to appear had left, we quietly stepped out from the shadows. The hallway was full of hidden doors. I didn't notice when we were here on the first day.
こんな仕掛けがあったなんて。すごいな。隠しダンジョンを見つけたような気分だ。
No, it's not gamer logic. The doors have already closed though. I can't even tell where they were.
暗くてよく見えないから余計にね。好都合だと思ったけど、この暗闇もいいことばかりじゃないってことか。
Yep. We sighed and started feeling along the walls for any sign of the doors. After watching for a little while longer, we determined that the doors opened at a set interval, and the zombies came out of them to head for the exit.
隠し扉の奥にゾンビの謎があるのは分かった。問題はどうやって扉に入るかだ。
They don't open at the same time, and the zombies make it tough to go out in the hallway, so... Wait, unless... Unless what? Uh-oh. Alright, what do we know so far? The hidden doors open at specific intervals, and when they do, the zombies come out and head for the stairs. There are 5 hidden doors, one in the middle, the next is opposite of that, and the next is the furthest away. And then the last one is right in front of us. Okay. I don't know. I'm guessing the right in front of us and furthest away are two that I should definitely stick on there. And maybe stairs. I don't know though. Because we know what intervals they come at. This is tough. I don't think it's 5 hidden doors. It's either intervals or stairs. So let's go with... Oh, I don't know. They could be either one. Let's go with the intervals. Yeah, let's do that. Because the stairs, if they're heading towards the stairs, we can't really use that, right? Which one was it? Ah, right in front of us. Okay, good. Whew. What if we jump through the door that's right across from us after the zombie comes out of it?
目の前の壁か。賭けになるけど、確かにそれしかないか。
I trust in you, Mayoshi. We can do it.
その手で行ってみよう。タイミングを見て僕が先に行くから、君もすぐについてきて。
Right. When we've been in the corridor the first time, he described his reflexes as S rank. I felt like I could trust Kota to get the timing right. Alright, S rank, show us what you got.
そろそろ時間だ。
We got ready to move. Then, right on cue, the hidden doors began to open. Not yet. We can't rush it. We have to wait until the one in front of us opens. We sat there in the shadows, muscles tense and ready to sprint. The door opposite to the last one opened, then the far door, then the one opposite that. Then finally, the door in front of us opened.
今だ。
The moment the zombie turned and began to lumber off toward the stairs, Kota leapt up. I followed right behind, with my hand on his shoulder. It's already closing! Kota saw it too, and dove for the opening.
さき、鏡、滑り込むんだ。
Come on! Did we do it? I'm guessing we did. We didn't get chopped in half, did we? Okay, I landed hard just as the door shut behind me. The hall or room or whatever on the other side was pitch black. I can't even see my hands. Oof, this is weird. Kota, are you there? My voice sounded high and squeaky when I spoke, but I lost my grip on him when he jumped, and obviously I couldn't see him.
大丈夫。ちゃんとここにいるよ。
I relaxed a little when I heard his voice come out of the darkness nearby.
待ってて。今、見つけるから。
Only a moment later, I felt a hand slip into mine. Kota's hand. I was a little surprised. I could tell it was his. It's a zombie just holding her hand. Maybe because we've been holding hands for so much for the last few hours, I'd learned to remember the shape of it. Oh, really?
なんだ、こんな近くにいたんだ。暗いと距離感がつかめないな。
We're so close, but we can't even see each other's faces. This is gonna be weird until our eyes adjust.
携帯を使えば足元くらいは見えるだろうけど、これだけ暗いと明かりでゾンビにバレる。大変だけど、このまま歩こう。
But how are they seeing in the dark? I agreed, and we began to walk.
あのさ、はぐれたら困るから、その、
Uh-huh.
手を少し強く握るけど、
Uh-huh.
平気？
Yeah, of course. I think I'd feel a little safer if you did.
そう。ありがとう。
He squeezed my hand, and I did the same. Aww. You know, you've changed since that first day. When I met you, you hardly ever talked, and you seemed afraid to touch anyone. Lots of times you seemed like you couldn't even look at me.
あれは、ごめん。人と接することが少ない上に、女の子にも慣れてなかったから、勝手がわからなくて。
Hey, aw, that's so cute. He didn't know how to act in front of girls. Do you think you figured it out yet?
どうかな。仮に慣れたとしても、もともと上手くないんだ。会話とか、人と協力するとか、そういうのが。
He's not good at conversation or teaming up with people, he said. Aw, he's so
誰かという
cute.
と途端に息苦しくなってくる。だから、こんな状況にでもならなければ、仲間なんて絶対に作ってなかったと思うよ。こうやって女の子と手をつなぐなんてこともきっとありえなかったんだろうな。
Is it hard to breathe now?
いや、苦しくない。 い
Yay!
るのが楽しいってそう思う。
Oh, young love. Really? That makes me happy. I like hanging out with you too.
真っ暗で助かった。
Huh?
なんでもない。次に角があったら右に曲がるよ。
Okay, why are you deciding that already?
行き止まりだ。
Oh. This is the third one. The path had split a lot. We'd had to feel our way along it because of the darkness, and it was taking quite a while. There had been so many twists and turns, I was starting to lose track of where we were. And if that wasn't enough,
明かりだ。隠れよ
every so often we'd come across a bobbing light, and had quickly learned that there were zombies with lanterns. That one was pretty close. I really jumped.
う。ああ。でもゾンビの方もここには誰もいないと思ってるのか。大して警戒してないから比較的楽ではあるね。
It was slow going, but we managed to keep moving through the maze.
時間はだいぶかかるけど、ゆっくり安全を第一に進んでいこう。
We had plenty of days too. I wasn't sure how much time had passed as we'd gone through the secret door, but eventually we found something.
ここから階段みたいだ。
Yeah, they do. I could feel a low wall with my feet, probably the first step. Are you okay? You didn't fall, did you?
大丈夫。手探りしながら慎重に進んでてよかったね。急いでたら転ぶところだった。手すりもちゃんとある。何段あるかわからないからゆっくり上がろう。
So up the stairs we went, taking them one careful step at a time, until
壁
he suddenly stopped and mumbled to himself under his breath. I felt around in front of us. There was definitely a wall there. Do all those steps just lead to a dead end?
いや、これ壁じゃない。扉だ。
Really? Oh yeah, here's the doorknob.
外に続く出口かもしれない。鍵は開いてるね。出てみよう。
We're gonna go into the secret lab of the zombies. Probably. Okay. We opened the door and found ourselves in a forest. Apart from a single cleared path, the trees were so thick I couldn't even see through them. The sky was dark. I checked my phone. It was 11. We'd gone into Samurai Fantasy 7 right after nightfall, so we'd been inside for a long time. I knew we'd been moving slowly, but I hadn't realized just how slowly.
11時間。思ったより時間が経ってる。
Where do you think we are? I can't see any of the attractions.
アトラクションは見えないけど、ほら、木の間からタワーが見えるよ。
I hadn't noticed it at first, but he was right. If the castle was there, then perhaps we were behind the plaza somewhere.
これ、本物じゃないね。
What's not? Huh?
ここにある木、よくできてるけど、全部作り物だよ。触ってみるとわかる。
I did, and although they looked pretty real, the leaves were dry and fabricy.
作り物と思って見てみると、この森も変だ。進める方向が一つだけしかない。
Yeah. And make sure the only place you can go is down that path.
そうらしい。外部からは入れないようになってるんだ。
Why would someone build it like this? Hidden doors, a fake forest that funneled you into a single path. It felt oddly isolated.
可能性としては、従業員用の通路と考えるのが妥当だけど、そう単純でもなさそうだ。簡単には見つけられたくない何かが、この先にあるのかもしれない。
Okay. Something? Like what?
どうやら僕たちは、本当に隠しダンジョンを見つけてしまったらしい。
Oh, did we find the final boss? He grinned. With nowhere else to go, we headed off down the path. Wait, what? What? I didn't know what else to say. The tree opened up into a clearing in front of us, but what filled that clearing was impossible. That's the bloodstained hospital, isn't it? A run-down abandoned building rose from the ground, bathed in red light from the blood splatter on its sign. There was no question. It was the bloodstained hospital. Thick fog drifted slowly through the air, making me shiver. But it blew up! We were there! We saw the crater!
市街島の血まみれホスピタル。ネットで見たのと同じだ。
He was staring up at the building with an odd sort of incredulous look on his face. Do you know anything about it?
血まみれホスピタルの元になったゲームには続編があるって話したの覚えてる？
Yes. Yeah, you said it wasn't as popular as the first one. Something about it being lazy. He nodded.
手抜きな作り。そう言われたのは主にステージの使い回しが原因だったんだ。2作目は市街島の入り口からゲームがスタートする。
Really?
最終的にたどり着くのは結局1作目と同じ廃病院だったんだ。
Yeah, I can see why that got some negative reviews. What do you mean?
プレイヤーが操作する主人公はとりあえず島の中心を目指すんだ。そして命からがら中心部にある廃病院にたどり着く。当然プレイヤーは新しいステージだと思って期待する。でも実際は構造も敵も初代と全く同じ。ただの使い回しだった。理由付けはいろいろされてたみたいだけど、結局はコスト削減のための再利用だったってわけさ。リメイクならまだしも、ボリュームは前作の2倍なんて銘打った続編だったからね。
Oh wow,
これはないだ
yeah.
ろって非難が殺到したらしい。その情報を見たから僕も購入は見送ったんだ。初代のファンというわけでもなかったし、ゲームバランスも良くないって噂だったから。
See, it's a good thing we're with Kota, because he knows what's going on. He knows about the hospital and stuff. So, the hospital that got blown up was from the first game, and this one's from the sequel. He nodded.
ここは多分本来のゲームでは使用する予定がなかったアトラクションなんだと思う。もしかしたらワルドブーの逆鱗に触れたものを断罪するために用意された場所なのかもしれない。見て。
I followed his finger to the entrance, and saw that a few zombies had just shambled out.
ゾンビが湧く大元はきっとここだ。
It has to be
ここか
here.
ら湧き出てさっきの通路を通り、ランドまで移動してたんだ。中へ入る前にもう一度みんなに連絡を取ってみよ
う。Oh, good idea. We both tried to call the others, but nothing. Still nothing.
どう？
No. I tried Shido and Wakasa, but the phone line's just dead.
そう。調べさんもダメだったよ。
That meant we were the only ones left. We would have to beat the game all by ourselves. If we didn't, well, I didn't want to think about that.
大丈夫？
I suddenly realized I was actually shaking.
不安な時は一層言ってしまった方がいいよ。溜め込むのは良くない。
I am scared, but no, I'm a little scared. Well, yeah, I might be a little scared. If we screw up, everyone else is gonna. I mean, it'll be bad, right? And I don't know what'll happen in there.
守るよ。
Yes, that's what I wanted. Huh?
主人公とパートナーがたった2人で困難に立ち向かう。ゲームにはよくある展開さ。そして主人公はパートナーを守る。男女のコンビならこれも定番だ。
Awesome.
だから僕は君を守るよ。
I made all the right choices.
それが僕の役目だ。
Kota.
まあゲームのようにうまくいくとは思えないけど、やれるだけやってみる。
Thanks. I will too.
じゃあ行こう。さっきも言ったけど、元になったゲームの廃病院は1作目も2作目も構造が同じなんだ。
Okay.
だから中の構造は3日目にクリアした血まみれホスピタルと大体同じだと思う。
Never thought I'd say this, but that's a relief.
ここは左の扉から入るべきかな。少しは構造を覚えてるから。
Yeah, that's the door we went into with Shido.
覚えてたんだ。
Of course I remember. We beat it together.
やっぱり懐中電灯がある。持っていこう。
He picked it up and stood in front of the door. Just like before, there were letters carved above the door in Italian. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here, was what it said, according to Shido. Abandon all hope. Oh, I was just remembering what was said.
ああ、そういえば。
Why did we feel so uneasy when we were clearly about to solve the mystery of the zombies and beat the game? I looked up at the words again and felt a shiver of dread, almost as if they were telling us we would regret getting this far. Do you think the two of us can really save everybody?
あるさ。希望は僕たちだ。二人で力を合わせれば。
Don't give me the hope speech. We're gonna run into despair if you give me the hope speech. Yeah, you're right. Maybe we didn't have the rest of our team there to help us, but when Kota said that we could do it, I believed him. Those ominous Italian words didn't seem quite so scary anymore. See, it's okay to let him know you're a little scared. He'll comfort you, he'll protect you. Hopefully he doesn't do anything stupid. On that night, my life ground to a halt.
すっかり遅くなっちゃったわね。
ああ、ここまで来るのにだいぶかかったな。しかし、この道に入って急に空いたな。
珍しいわね。何かあったのかしら。
どういうことだ。いつの間にか周りに車が一台も。
あなた、あれ
What?
バカな、なんでこんな。
どうしたの？ダメよ！二人ともお母さんの下に隠れて。
What is happening? Okay, cool. Thanks for the clarification. Stage 6. I don't know how many stages this game has, actually. It was night outside, but somehow the inside of the hospital felt even darker. I shivered. This is just like the other one.
この不快な匂いまで再現してるのは褒めるべきなのかな。
Haha, yeah, you're right. The whole place was filled with a dank, moldy stench. I had to resist the urge to pinch my nose. It had the same crumbling walls, the same floors scattered with abandoned bottles of medicine. The blood on the walls and the floors had to be fake, but it looked real. Well then! Suddenly, Hogstein's voice echoed through the hallways. Of course we did. We're amazing. I could almost hear Hogstein shrug elaborately and said, as he said, what others?
消えた仲間たちのことだ。知らないとは言わせない。
He said those three are taking a nap right beside him. What? What? Hogstein explained that anyone who got subdued or shot was considered to have lost the game, and captured. Then, they were locked in a cage with the other hostages. Are they hurt? We found blood. That meant Shido, Shirabe, or Wakasa could have been shot. If they'd been hurt bad, it didn't sound like Hogstein was going to give them any kind of decent medical treatment. What?
おい待て。始末とはどういうことだ。ゲームはまだ続いてる。参加者だって。
Yes.
まだ僕たちが残ってるだろう。
Yeah, and if we beat the game, then won't that save all of them? Oh, seriously? He always changes the rules. That's awful. Even if he is doing this for revenge, that's just not fair. Should we? I think we should. I mean, he's not even giving them a chance. I love letting her snap. Oh, they even brought the animation for him back in. I was like, he's not even there. Yeah, you should be sorry. You're gonna kill all of us if we can't beat the game, right? Then you should at least wait 2 days. He always says it's a joke if you snap at him. No pressure. No pressure at all. Hogstein responded cheerfully that he did indeed mean that. This was the 6th day. If we lost, then that would be 3 days worth of failed games. In other words, 3 hostages would be eliminated.
大丈夫。僕たちがクリアすればいいんだ。そうすればみんなも人質も全員助かる。
Kota. Hoxine laughed. I had to admit, it did sound pretty hopeless.
やってみなきゃわからない。難易度は高い方が挑みがいもある。
Ah, I always play on hard anyways. With that, Hoxine cut the transmission, and silence returned to the dark hallway. Do you think the others are okay? I hope they aren't hurt too bad.
血が出るような怪我をしてるのは確実だろうけど、少なくとも全てのゲームが終わる最終日までは無事のはずだ。血痕も量は少なかった。失血するような傷じゃないはずだから。
Okay, that's good.
今はこのゲームをクリアすること、それを第一に考えよう。どのみち、そうすることでしかみんなは救えない。
I nodded.
ゾンビがいるなら、懐中電灯は消した方がいい。明かりで見つかる可能性がある。
We'll also be able to see their lanterns better, so we'll know when they get close. Kota nodded.
足元が悪くなるから、十分に気をつけよう。あと、
Also, what?
手を離さないように。
Okay, we're still holding hands. I nodded and put my hand in his. He gave it a squeeze and smiled at me. Our immediate goal was to get to the second floor. In the first hospital, we'd gone through the nightmare maze to the vivisection lab, and then to the records room and the exit. Kota had said we should take the same route, but the nightmare maze wasn't called a maze for nothing. I was gonna say, does he really remember the layout that well?
次は確か左だな。
How can you remember that?
迷路とかダンジョンとか聞くと、頭の中で歩いた道をマッピングしたくなるんだ。ゲームのしすぎかな。
I don't think I've ever had that kind of habit. He seemed to think it was kind of silly, but it was keeping us from getting lost.
ランタンの明かりだ。
More zombies? How many have we seen?
本当にうじゃうじゃいるんだな。曲がり角に隠れてやり過ごそう。
Even though, thanks to Kota, we knew where to go, it wasn't that simple. Whenever we tried to follow the old route, we'd run into zombies. So we'd have to double back and hide or take a detour. We'd done that so many times our actual progress was minimal. And eventually, after so many detours, we finally got lost.
行き止まりか。ダメだ。完全に迷った。
It's not your fault. We kept having to run away from the zombies so much, I'm amazed it didn't happen earlier.
こうなるともう記憶は頼りにできない。ここからは勘で進んでいくしかないね。
There's probably still lots of zombies out there. We have to be careful.
なんだか昨日からこそこそ逃げ回ってばかりだな。本当に忍者になった気分だ。
For a ninja, he sounded pretty frustrated.
行こう。
Ninjas can feel frustrated too. Don't judge them. We gripped one another's hands a little tighter and stepped into the darkness where the zombies waited. Oh. After walking a while, we reached the corner. It had been like the other hallways at one point, but the walls and floor were heavily damaged. In fact, all that was left of the floor was thin strips of concrete surrounded by gaping holes. This is new.
老朽化の演出か。
He tapped one of the walls, and even though he'd barely touched it, some of the wall crumbled away.
床も下手をしたら崩れそうだ。
That's not good.
しん
I wasn't sure it would just collapse, period.
僕が先に行く。安全なことが分かったら君もついてきて。
Alright, I got... Wait, Kota's really skinny. I'm not heavier than him, right? I frowned. Kota noticed and tilted his head.
どうかした？何か気になる？
How much do you weigh?
体重なんてもう長い間測ってないからわからないけど、どうしてそんなこと？
For a reference.
参考？
Well, I just thought that whoever weighs more should be the one to check and see if it's safe, so... I mean, let's say you check it and it's okay, but then if I actually weigh more than you, it could collapse, right? He looked confused.
あ、そういうことか。まあ、確かに、みたらしさんなんかに比べたら軽いだろうけど、さすがに君よりはあると思うよ。
Maybe. My uncle's always telling me I'm round. Really?
別に普通じゃない？僕は好きだよ。
Aw, nice recovery.
あ、いや、別に
Never mind.
深い意味はないけど、
Mhm.
健康的でいいなって、そういう意味であって、やましい気持ちは全然。
Calm down. I didn't really care that much. Oh, I don't know what's happening with my voice, but his panicking was making me nervous.
じゃあ、足場を確かめてくるから。どっちが軽かろうと、君を危ない目に遭わせるわけにはいかないし。
Right. I watched as he stepped out onto the stone bridge. Let's show a little concern. Be careful.
ありがとう。でも大丈夫さ。石橋は割れる寸前まで叩いてから渡るタイプだから。
Yes. Okay. Good. I don't know if you get a bomb either way, but I'm thinking there's like one where you get closer and one where you kind of stumble. So I'm hoping I'm doing things the right way. You've done this before?
疑り深いのかもね。この石橋はすでに割れそうだから、念入りな安全確認が命取りとならないことを祈るよ。よし、大丈夫そうだ。いいよ、ついてきて。
Whew. I took the hand he held out and began to walk across the same route he'd taken. The floor was much more solid than I'd expected. It took a little effort to balance, but no more than what I would have had to do in gym class. Kota's balance was perfect, of course, and he moved across the thin strip of floor quickly and confidently. We'd almost made it all the way across when...
まずい。
Uh-oh. Huh?
曲がり方の向こうからゾンビが来てる。このまま進んだら、
Oh.
見つかって撃たれるのが落ちた。
Now that I knew what to look for, I could see the soft glow of our lantern coming from around the corner. She was right. But what do we do?
仕方ない。一旦戻ろう。ここを渡ってしまったら身を隠す場所がない。
Okay. He led me back across the broken floor the way we'd come. But as we moved, the zombie was getting closer and closer. We were only halfway there when it rounded the corner and spotted us. I saw it lift its gun. Oh no! Kota threw himself around me, and the hallway was filled with the sound of gunfire. It took me a moment to realize it seemed to be aimed at the ground. Oh, at the ground! New holes and cracks began to open up in the already unstable floor, and I felt it begin to wobble. More bullets cracked and pinged off the walls and ceiling, tearing away parts of them. We needed to get out of here, but there's bullets flying everywhere. Uh-oh, he got hit. Kota? He groaned and grabbed his shoulder. I could see blood oozing out between his fingers. You're hit!
かすめただけだ。それより頭を下げて。
But...
いいから、危ない。
There was a sound like glass shattering, and one of the light fixtures on the ceiling fell down. If Kota hadn't warned me, it would have fallen right on top of me. Thank you. What?
しまった。床が。
The light had broken through to the floor, and I could see it, I could feel it start to creak.
このままじゃ危ない。早くこっちへ。
Uh-oh. But the floor under me had already collapsed, and I fell forward into the empty space. I flailed around for something to grab onto, but there was nothing. I was falling, and there was nothing I could do about it.
くそ。
Oh, oh! Kota!
動かないで。今引き上げる。
His face twisted with effort.
手を伸ばして。僕の腕を掴むんだ。
I...
僕だけの力じゃ支えきれない。だから早く。
He was trying as hard as he could to lift me up, but it wasn't working.
くそ。どうして僕はこんなに。
He grimaced and pulled harder. Oh no, that's... I could hear the shuffling of footsteps of the zombie coming closer. If Kota doesn't move, he's toast. Let go. The zombie's coming. You have to let me go or you're gonna get shot.
嫌だ絶対に離さない
I could hear desperation in his voice. Wow. He pulled again, as hard as he could, but I could feel his arm beginning to shake. The footsteps came closer and stopped. Then I heard the sound of a new clip being loaded into a gun. It's okay, let me go. Huh? I couldn't believe my eyes. He was smiling. Then, he shoved himself off the ledge. We fell in what felt like slow motion. I could see everything Kota did with crystal-like clarity. He pulled my body close and put himself under me.
守るよ
He said, I will protect you. Wow. No. Then, we hit the floor and pain shot through my body, pushing the air out. Kota's arm went limp. Barely conscious, my own body slid off of him onto the ground. Kota. I reached out into the darkness, but felt nothing. Oh my god, really? Things are getting crazy.
お父さん、痛いわ。
Wait, what happened to them too? It sounds like they got in a car wreck, because like the lights and stuff I would assume would be headlights.
お父さん、お母さん、起きてよ。ねえ。
Just a dream. But now it's time for the final act. Just watch. Just watch? What do you mean? I'm sorry my voice is like going out on me. I'm really sorry. I want to know what happens. Oh god. What are we gonna do? What's gonna happen? Is this the final act? What happened? Gah. The moment I moved, pain lanced through my body and my breath turned to gasps. Right, the floor collapsed. How long was I out? I shook my head in an attempt to clear it. I needed to figure out where I was. Slowly and gingerly, I sat up. I couldn't see Kota, but I couldn't see anything. Wherever I was, there didn't seem to be any light. I need some light. My phone should do it. I dug into my pocket, hoping fervently that it hadn't been broken in the fall. There we go. I pulled it out and noticed the notification was blinking. I'd gotten a text. Good. It looks like it isn't broken. The text would have to wait though. I need to find Kota first. I flipped the phone open and turned on the light. I could see a little now, but not much, and no Kota. Frowning, I looked down at the floor around me. Is there something shiny? I took a closer look. It was definitely metal. I think those are scissors. Next to the scissors was a scalpel. I kept looking and found the number of surgical tools scattered across the floor. Then, a shoe entered my field of light, and I gasped. I recognized the shoe. It was Kota's. Kota! He was on his back, not too far away from me. Kota! But he didn't respond, and I felt a cold ball of dread begin to form in the bottom of my stomach. I leapt toward him, but as soon as I did, a new wave of pain rushed over my body. I gritted my teeth and dragged myself over to his side. I lowered my head to his mouth, and felt my shoulders sag with relief when I heard breathing. He was just unconscious. You saved me. Kota had protected me from the full impact of the fall with his own body. Given how much pain I was in, we must have hit pretty hard. But what if he'd broken something? Kota. Still no response. I reached out and shook his shoulder gently. Nothing. At least the bleeding from where he'd been shot looked like it had stopped. He really had just been grazed. He didn't have any obvious injuries, although that didn't mean he hadn't been hurt. I touched his cheek. It was warm. That was when I felt him move. Kota? Come on, buddy, wake up. Can you hear me? His eyes fluttered open.
さきここは
Oh, thank goodness. Are you okay? Do you remember me?
わかるよ無事みたいだねよかった
I don't think she said, do you remember me? It was more, do you recognize me? Because he said, yeah, I can. Like, I notice you. So I think it's, can you identify me in the darkness? Of course I'm okay. You protected me.
だからこそ心配だったんだよ
Oh, don't. There's no way. Well, at least you're okay. Does it hurt? Can I help?
そんな顔をしないで僕なら平気ださすがにまだ動けそうにはないけど少し休めばまたゲームに戻れる
Can I ask you something?
いいよ何
When I fell into that hole, why didn't you let go?
後悔したくなかったんだ
Wow, he didn't want to regret it. Oh. He let out a sad, resigned sigh.
ああいう時ゲームの主人公なら絶対にパートナーを助けられる
It's
んだ
okay, don't beat yourself up about it.
僕には力が足りなかったゲームのテクニックばかりを鍛えても決して強くはなれない分かりきっていたことだけど今はひどく身に染みるよ
You shouldn't be so hard on yourself. You kept me from getting hurt. You're a hero to me.
ありがとう
I thought I heard a little bit of a smile in his voice.
ごめんもう少しだけ休んでて
Go ahead, buddy. Take 5. Oh, sure. Of course. I'll keep watch, okay?
ごめん
Can I hold your hand?
Eh?
Well, it's dark and I don't want to feel alone. Is that okay?
ダメじゃない
It was dark and I couldn't see him very well, but it sounded like he was smiling. We sat there for a while, holding hands and talking. Koto would grunt in pain every time he laughed, but he still sounded like he was having fun. I thought you were gonna let him rest. Okay, whatever.
そろそろ行こうか
Are you feeling better?
正直なところまだ辛いでも主な痛みは内身だけだしあまりのんびりもしていられないからそういえば今は何時だろう
Oh, hold on a second. I pulled out my phone to check the time and realized the date had changed as well. It's 7 in the morning. We'd come to the hospital late at night on the 5th day. My eyes widened as I realized what that meant. Kota, I think maybe we've been unconscious for a whole day.
ってことはまさか
Oh. Almost as if he'd been waiting, Hogstein's voice suddenly roared out of the darkness. At first I wondered how he managed to always pipe up at the right moment, but then I realized we were under constant surveillance. Oh, cool. No!
メインティッシュ
So he's alive. No!
浦部さんが
But there was more. Hogstein told us that it wouldn't just be our friends who'd get eliminated. If we failed, it would mean all the hostages. We were speechless. If we couldn't beat the game, no one would leave the park alive. Yeah. The darkness was filled with Hogson's disgusting laughter, and then he was gone.
冗談じゃない。コッパみじんになんかされてたまるもんか。
Kota,
まずは状況を把握しよう。ここがどこなのか、それと出口も探さないと。
I nodded, and we began to examine the room, with only the light of our cell phones to see by.
床に落ちてるのはハサミにメス、それと薬品。こっちにはベッドもある。
I think that's an operating table.
多分そうだと思う。となるとここは手術室の一つか。
There's a room like that in the first hospital, right? I think it was the vivisection lab.
うん。でもあの部屋は2階にあった。それにここはもう少し狭いみたいだ。
It had seemed large in the dark, but the room we were in was actually very small, and we quickly found a door. Unfortunately.
くそ、開かない。
Is it locked?
いや、ここは内鍵だ。それでも開かないのは向こう側から無理やり鎖か何かで封じてるんだ。
We tried everything we could think of, even slamming our bruised bodies into it, but nothing worked. Does it hurt? He sat down, breathing hard. Hoxie must have known we couldn't escape. That's why he'd been so sure we wouldn't be able to beat the game.
僕じゃなければ。
Oh, Miyoshi, come on, buddy. His voice was a defeated mumble.
一緒にいたのが僕じゃなければこんなことにはならなかったかもしれない。
No.
穴に落ちた時もそうだ。僕以外の人ならきっと君を引き上げられた。そうすればゲームも僕じゃなければクリアできたかもしれない。
Aww.
やっぱり僕はダメな人間なんだ。
What are you talking about?
僕は誰からも頼られちゃいけないんだ。
He said nobody should rely on me. He shook off my hand. Calm down.
ダメなんだよ。間に合わなかったあの日からずっと僕はダメなんだ。
What's wrong with him? It's like he can't even hear me. I have to calm him down. How can you say he's useless? Yeah, we're gonna get mad. Let's do it. I don't think I've seen his reaction to this. You got scolded. He looked surprised, as if he'd only just remembered I was there. What's wrong? If there's something bothering you, you can always tell me about it. That's what friends are for.
もう10年以上も前の話さ。
Okay. He sighed and began to talk.
僕は昔ある事故を目撃したんだ。亀戸循環バス炎上事故。その事
So
故
that
は
must have been his memories.
新聞ではそう報道されていた。当時小学2年生だった僕はその日友達の家から帰
Never
りが
mind, it's different.
帰りが遅くなり親に叱られると思って慌てていた僕は家までの道を急いでいたんだ。辺りがどんどん暗くなって焦りを感じた僕はさらに足を速めようとした。暗くて人通りもない道だったから何気なくバスの明かりを目で追っていた。そのバスはそこから数十メートルほど進んだところで突然横転したんだ。
Okay.
テレビでしか見たことがないような光景に僕は立ちすくんだ。何が起きているのか正直よくわからなかったんだ。そして聞こえてきたのは甲高いブレーキ音と激しい衝突音だった。これは後から聞いた話だけどバスが横転した時 隣の反対車線を乗用車が1台走っていたらしい。
Then the sound you heard.
そう。その車がバスを避けようとした音。そして避けきれず、バスからは火の手が上がり、あっという間に炎に包まれた。僕は呆然と立ちすくんでいたけれど、次第に野じ馬が増え、遠くからたくさんのサイレンが聞こえてきた。急にいろいろなことが怖くなった僕は、その場を逃げだ。何度も転びそうになりながら家まで走って、とにかく走って、なんとか家に着いた僕は、叱られるよりも先に母親に抱きついた。その時ようやく自分がとんでもなく恐ろしいものを見てしまったことを理解したんだ。
He took a deep, shaky breath, and I saw him try to steady his trembling hands. I didn't know what to say, so I didn't say anything.
野じ馬からの情報で警察はこの事故に子供の目撃者がいることを知った。そして事故の翌日、数人の刑事たちが僕の家を訪れた。唯一の目撃者だった僕はその日から何度も事情聴取を受けた。
Did you tell them about what you'd seen?
話そうと思った。あの光景は忘れたくても忘れられなかったし、すべて鮮明に覚えていたから。だけど
He looked down at the floor.
話せなかったんだ。大人たちに囲まれると
Aww.
いつも身がすくんで何も喋れなかった。
Of course he'd been scared. He was just a kid and he'd seen something horrible. Spending the day being badgered by detectives would be difficult for any kid. I wasn't surprised he hadn't been able to say anything. I think any kid would have done the same thing. Kota shook his head.
でも僕は知っていたんだ。誰も知らない、伝えなければいけなかったある事実を。
What? What did you know? He explained that a few days after the accident, the police had announced that the cause had been a chronic condition that the driver suffered from. Is he saying that wasn't the truth?
あの時僕は確かに見たんだ。バスが中央分離帯を乗り越える間際、
Oh.
バスと同じ車線を逆走する一台の車を。
So the bus swerved to avoid it.
真相はわからない。だけどその車がいたことだけは確かだ。事故として処理がされて数日が経った頃、家に一人の刑事が来た。相変わらず身を固くする僕に、その刑事はかがんで微笑みながらこう言ったんだ。これが最後だって。もう刑事は来ない。事故のことも無理に思い出さなくていいって。よくわからなかったけど僕はほっとした。そして相手が一人だったからか、それとも彼が優しかったからか、僕は真実を彼に打ち明けようと思った。
About the car.
子供の言葉で説明ができていたのかはわからないけど、とにかく見たことをありのまま伝えた。でもその刑事はゴツゴツとした温かい手で僕の頭を撫でながら、ありがとう。だけどもういいんだって。
Kota said the detective had smiled, but he'd seen sadness in his eyes. In the end, though, Kota's testimony would never be heard, and the crash would fade into the past as nothing more than a horrible accident. Even though he didn't understand why, he somehow realized when the detective said it's okay that he'd screwed up and waited too long.
あの時もっと早くに真実を話していれば違う結末があったかもしれない。そればかりを考えたよ。それ以来僕は自分は人の役に立てない
Oh,
存在なんだ
Miyoshi.
と感じるようになった。何をしても自信が持てず、人から頼られるのも嫌になった。期待されても答えられないことがとにかく苦痛だった。
That was when he started avoiding other people, he told me. He graduated middle school, but only barely, and then dropped out of high school to become a shut-in.
ゲームはそんな僕にとって自信が持てるただ一つのものだったんだ。テクニックさえ磨けば勝てる。その単純さが僕には救いだった。ネットワークを通じて対戦に勝ち続けると、僕は次第に尊敬されるようになった。格闘神と呼ばれるようになった時は、自分が肯定される唯一の瞬間ができたような、そんな気さえしたよ。
I could definitely see why games have been so appealing to him. It made a lot of sense.
でもやっぱりダメなんだ。ゲームをしてる時だけは忘れられたけど、それも一時的なものだ。本当はいつだってあの時の苦い思い出が頭から離れない。
He buried his face in his hands, and my chest tightened when I heard the beginnings of tears in his voice.
だけどさ、そんな僕もこのゲームでは頼ってもらえたんだ。仲間たちから。そして君から。
Oh, so he said he felt like he was useful, but he said to everyone and to you. Oh, that's so sweet.
僕を信じてくれたり、頼りにしてると言ってくれたり。
I just want to give him a big
そのた
hug.
った一言がすごく嬉しかった。最初は怖かったけど、ずっと一人だった僕はそれが本当に嬉しくて、もっとみんなの助けになりたいとそう思うようにもなった。今思えばそれが間違いだったんだ。
Don't think like that. He gave me a sad sort of smile and mumbled that he was sorry. What does he need to apologize for? There's no denying that he'd been dealing with some rough stuff for a long time. Anyone who went through that, what he had, would have trouble getting past it, and he was too nice to try and blame someone else for it. I wiped a few tears from my eyes and put my hand on his shoulder. Ooh. I don't know, what do you say? I'm glad you're here, maybe? I'm glad you're here. He looked up at me, confused. I'm glad that you've been here with me for all of this.
もし仮にそれが本当だとしても、僕には君にそんなことを言ってもらう資格なんてないよ。自分が誰かにとって
Are you kidding me? He's done so much
なる
from
人間だとはどうしても思えないんだ。
the drinks late at night so that we could both fall asleep after a good laugh, to the fact that he carried me to the hospital and took care of me, to the fact that he watched over me when I was sick. Ah, my heart. I just can't take it. Oh! Do you get it now? You saved me a bunch of times. You've held my hand when I was scared. You let me fall on top of you. I never would have made it this far without you. So don't give me that I'm no good stuff. I don't think a few nice words from me are gonna fix years of emotional isolation, but I want to be there for you. And I'm hoping you can be there for me too. He started to cry with a big, shaking sobs. I wrapped my arms around his shoulders and hugged him as hard as I could. I feel like I cut off his cry now. He wasn't saying anything, so I moved it forward, but oh, I feel bad if I cut it off. I'm sorry. Kota took a long, shuddering sigh back and leaned back. He looked sort of at peace, like he just sat down a great weight.
思いっきり泣いたらすっきりしたよ。なんだか生まれ変わったような気分だ。ありがとう、サキ。
I nodded. New man didn't seem quite like the right words to me, though. I felt more like this was the man Kota had always been. We don't have time to worry about the past, right?
ああ。なんとしてでもここから出よう。攻略法は絶対にあるはずだ。
I nodded. For all the stuff I just said, I'd been pretty close to despair myself, and it was good to hear Kota optimistic again. Oh, that's right. I still haven't read that text. I flipped open my phone. I knew it. It's from my uncle.
どうしたの？
No, I just got a text from my uncle.
大丈夫か。もし辛いなら、その時はまず自分を信じろ。根拠なんてなくていい。
Thanks, uncle.
自分を信じて、まずは一歩を踏み出すんだ。
I shut the phone and looked up at Kota.
いいおじさんだね。
Yeah. Thanks, Uncle Keiji. I tucked my cell phone back into my pocket. We needed to get out so we could save my uncle. You know what? I'm gonna save it right there. My voice is going out on me, but man, that was a nice story. That was an adorable, adorable story, and I'm so glad these two are together. But we'll have to see what's gonna happen afterwards in the next video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys on the next MAMJ. Let's go. Oh no! Game over? I'd only barely heard the announcement. No, this is my fault. Aw, come on. Dang it, now he's gonna feel all guilty. I feel guilty. I could hear Miyoshi, but his voice sounded far away somehow. I felt his hand against my forehead, but it was ice cold. I'm sorry. This is my fault.
違う。君のせいなんかじゃない。僕の腕が悪かったせいだ。
Don't even talk like that.